The Master of Magnetism doesn't just thrive and exist within the world of Earth 616, he also has tons of powerful counterparts across the multiverse and beyond. Welcome back, Nerd Squad! Today we're going to be getting to know some of these other Magnetos as we count down the top 10 most powerful alternate versions of Magneto. All the Magnetos! Let's get counting. Number 10. The Grand Inquisitor. This alternate version of Magneto comes to us from the reality of Earth 311, the 1602 reality. Here Magneto is known as Enrique, or by his title as the Grand Inquisitor. It is his job to hunt down and kill any witch breed that he finds. Witch breed in this reality is the name used for mutants. The Grand Inquisitor does as is expected, but secretly saves the witch breed who can pass off as human, only killing those who are very obviously mutated. More often those who have physical mutations which they cannot hide. Due to his clout and title, the Grand Inquisitor is a dangerous character who also holds a lot of power. Number 9. Earth 1. Did you know that there is also a one-off Aquaman villain from Earth 1 named Magneto? True story. This version of the character, who shares the same name with the Marvel villain and anti-hero, was a villainous robot who appeared in Aquaman issue 36 in 1967. DC's villainous robotic Magneto also had the power of magnetism, which allows them to manipulate and control their colleague, the Claw. Together, Torpedo Man, Claw, and Magneto made up the villainous team known as the Awesome Three. While the Awesome Three were ultimately defeated, making this version of Magneto sound pretty tame, Aquaman did remark that he really wouldn't want to tangle with their ilk or their weird alien pal again in the future. And he got his wish, because I'm pretty sure they never really reappeared ever again, despite promising to do so. Also, I feel like the team name Awesome 3 definitely makes them sound not like a villainous team. Awesome 3. Number 8. Mutant X. In this reality, Magneto is actually a hero who was good friends with Charles Xavier, and worked together with him, but was forced to turn against his friend after a fight with Shadow King left him changed. During the fight, Charles had absorbed the evil essence of Shadow King, which later caused him to accidentally kill Moira McTaggart, whom Magneto was in love with. Magneto was unable to forgive his friend and decided to rule the X-Men alone, creating a divide in the team. His roster included Polaris, Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Mystique. In the Mutant X reality of Earth 1298, Magneto would be one of the last heroes left standing and fighting on. Number 7. Earth Z. In the Marvel Zombies reality, Magneto is a proper badass who ends up managing to fight on against the zombies for quite some time. He also has multiple opportunities to leave and save himself, but proves to be a real hero who would rather ensure or avoid risking the safety of many in exchange for putting himself in peril. And it is because of this that he eventually is taken down, bitten, and transformed. Zombie Magneto. Before that, however, he helped to save the Ultimate Universe and chose to refuse help from the Acolytes in order to ensure their safety as survivors. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want more lists like it where we talk about Magneto, the Master of Magnetism, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 6. Earth X. Magneto in this reality at a time was very powerful, but then also went the other way later on. Here Magneto was a savior for mutants who fought off the Sentinels. At this time, Sentinels were activated in order to round up all mutants, including burgeoning ones created unknowingly by Terrigen Mists, which had been released into Earth's atmosphere. Magneto tricked the Sentinels into pursuing him into the Savage Land, whose climate had actually iron-rich air, which Magneto was able to use to defeat the Sentinels, making a safe haven for all mutated folks, new and old, called Sentinel City. However, while this shows how powerful this version of Magneto could be, for a time he had his powers swapped with Toad, though later this was resolved and Magneto would get his powers back. Number 5. Erik Magnus. What if Magneto could build his own metal robot army? That's kind of what this character is about. Erik Magnus is the Amalgam Universe version of Magneto. He possesses a genius level intellect and the powers of 616 Magneto, being a sort of combined version of DC's Doc Magnus and Marvel's Magneto. In this reality, however, Erik had a brother named Will. While Erik's abilities would manifest in his teens and inspire him to create his own group known as the Brotherhood of Mutants, his brother Will, now terrified of Erik, would use his smarts to create Sentinels, which would go on to destroy Magneto's team, with him being the lone survivor. In retaliation, Magneto would create his own robots to combat his brothers, known as the Uncanny Magnetic Men, whose sole purpose was to protect mutants and destroy the Sentinels. Number 4. Ultimate. Although he was ultimately defeated by Revelation and Logic, as well as a powerful optic blast from Cyclops, Magneto here accomplished a lot of awful stuff before he was apprehended. In the Ultimate Universe of Earth 1610, Magneto was a villain due to his hatred of the human race and his desire to dominate and rule over them. He believed basically that Homo superior are just that, superior, and should rule over humankind, the Homo sapiens of Earth. He was the driving force behind Ultimatum, which caused so much death, including the deaths of pretty much almost all of the X-Men. However, in the end, he was stopped when he learned that mutants weren't really the next step in evolution, but simply happened as the result of years of experimentation with the super soldier serum, which among other things also created mutants. Learning that his whole philosophy was built on a lie pretty much destroyed Magneto, giving Cyclops the opportunity to take him out. Number 3. Age of Apocalypse. In the reality of Earth 295, Magneto becomes the leader of the X-Men after Charles Xavier dies at the hands of Legion before he was able to ever form the team. Magneto here is the one responsible for defeating Apocalypse, and while he didn't save everyone in his final stand against Apocalypse, he was celebrated as a hero by all of humanity who thought what was actually the work of a near-dead Phoenix Force empowered Jean Grey was actually Magneto's doing. So not only is he immensely powerful here as a leader and a mutant, but he's also celebrated as a hero by the people, enhancing his influence even more. Number 2. Onslaught. Onslaught is definitely one of the most powerful Magneto alternates out there. Technically, this version of Magneto does hail from the main continuity, but he is also both Magneto and not Magneto, which is what makes him an alternate basically. Onslaught is made up of the combined consciousness of both Magneto and Professor X, so if you ever wondered what would happen if you put these two together, the answer is something immensely terrifying that threatens the existence of all heroes across the universe, aka Onslaught. Number 1. Brother Mutant. Brother Mutant is a version of Magneto that came about after the female alternate Magneto from Earth 127 attempted to take Wolverine's adamantium for herself. Unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately depending on how you want to look at it, her plan failed, resulting in the combined superpowered beings becoming something new. Brother Mutant is a being made out of Wolverine, Magneto, Scarlet Warlock, Quicksilver, and Mesmero combined. This alternate version of the characters therefore possess all their collective abilities, making them pretty OP. Who are some of your favorite alternate versions of Magneto? Which alternate do you think is the most powerful? Do you prefer Magneto as a hero, villain, or something in between? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our newest videos, Most Powerful Black Superheroes, from our brand new channel, Top 10 Nerd Elite. I'll be responding to comments from this channel for a little bit, so to get a chance at a shout out, head on over and comment with your questions, suggestions, and thoughts. And while you're over there, hit that subscribe button. Graham Can comments, as always, thank you so very much for the video. I especially appreciate this one, as I've been a big fan of black heroes since Black Panther and Luke Cage showed up. Yes, reading comics that long. No, not black. Well, that's really awesome. I'm glad that those are some of your favorite heroes and that you've been reading for that long and that you are enjoying the continued showcase of just all of this awesome diversity that we have in comics and that we've worked, I think, really hard to get. Broken Bridge responds, always respect diversity in any popular media. I 100% agree. I think it's really great to celebrate all of this diversity that we have coming in, not just even in the comics, but also like in the fandoms. It just gives me all the warm fuzzies. Tendeke Makasi writes, wow, I didn't know there were so many powerful black superheroes as a black kid from Africa. Can you make a top 10 most powerful African heroes from African comics? And it would be super cool if I can get my comment read out. Well, there you go, there's your comment, and that was definitely a list that I think would be really cool. I don't really know a ton about African comics, but I definitely know quite a bit about African heroes, so I think that could be something we could do. I will definitely pass it on to the powers that be. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you till next time to stay nerdy, YouTube.